In episode 5.5 of Unshuffled, we're listening to the latest album from Denver's Abrams. It's called Blue City. Let's have a listen.
Welcome, listeners. Welcome to Unshuffled, and welcome back to Unshuffled, to our regulars. I'm your co-host, Matt. And joining me, as he always does, my man in Japan, Mr. Scotty D.
The other co-host. Hi, Matt.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
And Scott, as he's going to jump straight into his usual role of introducing today's album for discussion. We're having a little break from all them witches. What are we doing instead, Scotty?
We're doing Abrams' Blue City, which came out just under a year ago, May 24th, 2024, 2 years since their last album, In the Dark. I'm trying to remember, did we cover In the Dark the same year of its release?
Yeah, or pretty soon after.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been more or less 2 years since we've talked about. Man, have we been doing this for that long?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have. I think I was living in. Something tells me I was living in Belgium, so maybe it was longer than that. I don't know. Maybe we did it straight away, so it might have been 3 years ago.
All right. Anyway, so it's been 2 years since their last album. This one is produced by Kurt. Kurt, how are you saying it?
I say Belial.
You say Belial. All right. I always want to make Bayao, do a Spanish thing with the name. Who has produced loads of albums, especially in your your sort of record collection, and we could talk to that later.
Yeah.
Also played with Converge, we were just discussing. The label is Blues Funeral Recordings, so they're now on a new label, correct? The other album, I don't believe, was on Blues Funeral.
Correct. They've been on Small Stone all this time, which is one of the things that sort of helped us find them.
You're right. Yes. And this was recorded at God City Studio in Salem, Massachusetts, and that's, I think, Kurt Baliau's sort of base of operations. I don't have any information on the album artwork.
Well,
I don't know if you do.
Well, does it look familiar?
It does. And I'm assuming, is it the same person from In the Dark? In Modern Ways?
No, not. It's the one from Modern Ways. Remember they changed for In the Dark? They had that sort of retro-looking image on the front, but the two before that, Modern Ways and Morning, were both taken by photos taken by, what's her name? Let me see here. Samantha Muljat.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Who does the photography, layout, and typography on this album. And it looks like the color is almost identical to Modern Ways. It's she's a beautiful photographer. I mean, lovely image. There is, if you look carefully, a sort of, at first glance, it just looks like a blue sky, at sort of dusk. But there is some sort of building in the foreground that you can hardly see, and quite a haunting quality to the photo, as there was on Modern Ways as well, and similar color scheme. So nice photo. Interesting that they went back to her, because I didn't mind the retro cover on the previous one, but
right.
I like this one more, I think.
Yeah, I really liked the cover for Modern Ways, and so I don't know. It was nice that I like this one as well.
Yeah,
but
so they've gone back to the old photographer, but onto a new label. So this is Blues Funeral now, and I didn't know until I got an email. I'm on their mailing list, and the guy mentioned something about the fact that he owned a record label in the past, or ran a record label in the past, called Meteor City, which was a very big label back in the heyday of stonerrock.com So yeah, in the sort of early 2000s kind of thing, Meteor City was huge, or relatively huge in that scene anyway. And this is his latest label, Blues Funeral. There's plenty of other good bands on it. So we'll pop a link to Blues Funeral recordings or records in the show notes for this album. And maybe even have a look there down the track and see what other bands, see if there's any other bands that we want to have a listen to.
What? Hold up. Was Atomic Bitchwax on Meteor City?
Oh, that would be a nice little link to early episodes, wasn't it? It wouldn't surprise me, but I'd have to double check. Should we do a quick Google?
Yeah.
It,
Because I don't have it in my notes.
all right.
Yeah, here we go. I've got Meteor City helped launch the stoner rock genre. You were referring to that already. Plus side projects from members of well-known bands, the Atomic Bitchwax and Hermano. Fu Manchu, Monster Magnet, John
Yeah.
Garcia's solo stuff.
Yeah, heaps.
Yeah. Huh. All right. There it is.
And I don't know what happened to Meteor City, but this is a sort of reincarnation, I suppose, and there's a lot of similar bands. Not sure of the reason for the record change. And it would only be speculation. So I don't really want to think about that too much. But I was wondering maybe the record label change might also indicate a big artistic change in direction. But I don't know. I don't think that happened. We'll get into the song. We'll start talking about the songs very soon.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't seem to be a major shift in artistic direction for me. So I don't know.
We could talk about that. It definitely feels like a bigger shift if you go back to like their first two albums.
Yeah, but I feel like that shift's already happened.
Yeah. I think that shift started with probably Morning, right? No, yeah. I guess it's a big shift from the first album.
Yeah, I think Morning was the transition album, and the
Yeah.
last three have been pretty similar, really.
Pretty similar. You're right.
in style.
Well, speaking of shifting, I mean, we did change group members. So we still got Zach Amster on guitar and vocals, Taylor Iverson on bass and vocals, Ryan DeWitt on drums, and now Graham Zander on guitar, replacing Patrick Alberts.
Oh, okay. I didn't even pick that up. Guitar and vocals, apparently. I think so. There's three vocalists listed. Amster, Zach Amster, the main, who I tend to think of as the main vocalist, and Iverson, who's does some main duties but does some backup as well. And I don't know. There's a third vocalist listed too. So there you go. One thing I will say before we get into the tracks, I bought the CD through Bandcamp, and I would recommend you do buy a physical copy of this because I haven't been able to find the lyrics anywhere else, and they are printed on this, and I assume the vinyl as well. And I needed them, to be honest.
Yeah, I still haven't found the lyrics, so
yeah, maybe I can help you out here and there.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Anything more you want to say before we dive in?
I don't believe so. I think I am ready to go.
All right. I'll talk. That Kurt Ballard thing, I'll wait till I get to the end because I do think it explained a little bit when I was putting my thoughts together, the Ballard influence. Sort of, I didn't realize it was him until after quite a few listens, and then a lot of things made more sense to me. So we'll discuss that later. Let's get in now to the opening track. So, listeners, a couple of things. Firstly, you should go and listen to this album if you haven't. Please do so. It's good. Well, spoiler alert, it's a good album, and it's well worth listening to. And it'll make this podcast better for you because you'll have a point of reference for our discussion. And secondly, these days we only talk about four tracks each, but there's often a bit of overlap. We'll discuss the opening track, our favourite track, The Killer, the track that grew on us most of all, The Grower, and then if there is any hint of filler, we'll also touch on that, although we do generally try and keep things positive. And we also try and pick albums that we love and enjoy. So, we very rarely have negative things to say, but if there is any filler, we'll hunt it out for you. So the first one is the opener. What did you think of the opening track, Tomorrow, Scotty?
I thought this is a great opening track. I really liked it as an opening track. There's just sort of the guitar with the shouting before the drum break, and then the band just pulls you straight in. There's the double vocals, and I don't know, I can't tell if it's both. What is it, Zach Amster and Taylor Iverson singing, or if it's just layering of one of their vocals. I love the rhythm of the bass. I love the sound of the drums, and I'm gonna go the toms in particular on this song, and I'm gonna end up talking more about that later. There's the guitar swells that come in like right after the chorus. There's this whole Caius vibe that's sort of laying under the main rhythm. I love that frantic guitar solo that bursts in for like the last 30 to 40 seconds of the song. The structure itself is pretty straightforward, just kind of in that sort of verse, chorus, verse kind of format. But there's so many cool things happening underneath the surface, like little swirls and eddies, and sort of just a seemingly right kind of just standard stream. And so I really like, each time I listened to it, I would hear little things going, oh wait, what's going on? What's going on down there? And so, yeah, anyway, I really liked it.
Yeah, I agree with you with the swirly stuff. I have heard this band described as shoegaze, among other things, and I'm not. I think that swirly stuff is tied in with that sound. That is another thing I want to discuss with you at the end of the album. So, one of the interesting things I thought on this and a couple of the other songs was some sort of strange time signatures. They do well to jump between. One of the reviews I read said they had a kind of panicky quality in the verses. And I think that uneasiness, that feeling of uneasiness that they get in the verses is because they use some strange timings and time signatures. And then when you get into a more traditional sounding or more traditionally timed chorus, it has even more of a sort of hooky, catchy feel because now we're back into a rhythm that I can relate to. So this is one of those songs that has a sort of strange stuttering nature in the verses, and then we're into the chorus. In fact, the whole thing it breaks into a more traditional time signature pretty early, and the whole thing kind of shifts gear at that point. And it's got a really good chorus, and I love the layering in the vocals in this song and right throughout the album. And you mentioned the guitar solo too, which is the climax of this song, and you also mentioned the thundering drums, but that sort of screaming layered guitar solo was a real highlight of this song for me. And there's several really good guitar solos here and there. And I'm wondering, I haven't noticed the guitar solos as much with this band as I in the past as I did on this album. So I'm wondering if maybe that's a bit of the Bellow influence shining through, because there's some just blistering, screaming, howling solos sprinkled here and there that I really like. This is one of them on this song. So yeah, agree. Really great choice for opening song and a really good song. So we are in fierce agreement on that one. Was it your killer, or do you have another?
I do have another, and this is the one I'm right now. I was just trying to find the lyrics, but it's not happening.
All right. All right.
Well, it's Fire Waltz.
Okay. Track 2.
Yeah.
There's a film clip to this one, by the way. Have you seen the film clip?
I'm sure I have.
I'll link to it in the show notes.
Okay. All right.
This and Blue City were the 2 film clips they've made for this song. Lyrics. Are we all to blame on this borrowed time? Our fire waltz, the biggest of flames. Breathe no more and you'll see. On and on we'll go our separate ways.
What's the chorus?
Our fire waltz, haunted idols. Pray on for the ones that you know and leave them behind.
Okay.
Dig it out from deep in your soul, all from a lie.
Got it. Okay.
It's just, but the main chorusy bit is just our fire
Yeah,
waltz
yeah, yeah. And it's the
over and over.
spacing of that. Just even the way that they're singing that I find I really like as well. But there's sort of like a hypnotic mood to it. It picks up that urgency that you were talking about, sort of in the verse, that creation of the tension that then
Yep.
is released with that sort of just kind of the spacing of that hour fire waltz. There's again the bass, the drums. There's this mysterious kind of emotionally charge to it. For me, this was so I think I texted you. I was listening to this while I was riding on the Shinkansen, and I was riding to Tokyo, and this was, I think, when we did this band before, and I'm remembering now, it was when I was in Vermont and driving to delivered whatever to the dump, and this song demanded to be driven down a mountain road with the windows down, but
Mm.
in a train hurtling at some crazy amount of speed past Mount Fuji was also kind of a cool setting for the song.
Mm.
But it was just, it had that move to it where I needed to be going fast while I was listening to it. This was another one where, as I was listening to this album chronologically, I was just like, man, I love the sound of the drums on these first two songs.
Mm.
And it's just the production of it, the recording of it. You can properly feel the drums as he's just banging on them. And then there was something about the song and I don't, maybe it's the layering of the vocals, but there was a definite a Baroness vibe feel to this song for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, great song. Good choice. But is it a waltz, Scotty? Is it a waltz?
Well, so is it?
Don't think
I
so. I don't
I
know.
don't think so
It,
either.
it does have there's an unusual time signature in the verses, but I don't think it's.
That I was
If,
trying to pick up, is there a waltz time signature anywhere in this song, and
yeah.
I couldn't find it.
No, I couldn't either. But there is some sort of unusual time signature that's going on in the verses. So it has that same switch in the timing from the verse to the main. And I mean, the other band that does that a lot is the Deftones, and occasionally got some Deftones
Yeah, yeah.
vibes here and there on this album. Not in a massive way, but every now and then. Maybe it's that sort of tension release technique. So my good choice, but not my killer. I'll go for the other. I'll nominate for my killer the other film clip song, which is the last song on the album Blue City. This is the one that jumped out at me straight away and has stayed with me. Like every time I hear this song, my ears prick up. It's a little more straightforward in terms of timing than some of the other songs on the album. It's got this sort of metronomic drumstick thing where he hits the side of the snare. I don't know what that technique's called, but drummers would know. You know, when you tap out the beat with the stick on the side there. Some dreamy vocals, and this one had me also thinking, is this shoegaze? Because there's a sort of dreamy nature to it. Blue City, Cold Walls, which to me, the front cover of the album it's blue and it has some sort of walls on that building. So I think, I mean, it's the title track, of course. So I think this was the inspiration for the cover as well. But yeah, I just love the chorus and the simplicity of it. But even in that simplicity, sometimes simplicity is the hardest thing of all to do well, and I think they do it really well. Um, so yeah, to me, they say the best song to last, and it's not often you get the title track as the very last song on the album. Um, I can't think of any any examples that jump to mind, but I really enjoyed it, and it was my killer.
That was actually my grower.
Okay, good. Tell me
Was
what you
Yeah,
think.
and it was. I guess what I would add in addition to what you said is just it was the perfect bookend of the album.
Yeah.
Even though, and I loved the opening bass on the song. Just to kind of add to that, The drums again, that sort of metronomic timekeeping that he's doing against the side stuck out at me. I love the intensity. I love the way that the song sort of just builds, right?
Mm.
And that there's this added intensity that comes in at the end of the song, and it's the perfect closer in a way that it ends and you want more,
Yeah,
right? So you end up going back and listening again.
yeah, yeah.
And so, but yeah, that one was my grower.
Oh, it's a great build up, and when that big guitar comes in, it's really really well done. Okay, so that's your grower. I mean, it grew on me, but it was also instantly my favorite track, but it kept growing on me as well, so I can understand that. In fact, the whole album kind of grew on me. We've had, as we always do, we've had quite a bit of time with it, and it was an album that I've been happy to listen to and picked up more and more each time. If I had to nominate one track as my grower, it's probably, and there's quite a few candidates because I mean, just a lot of songs that on repeated listens really reward the listener. The one I picked more than any was Narc, which is track 8. It's a gentler song than some of their others, kind of slower and spacier. It's got this sort of lovely, lush bass lines sitting behind it, and has a few a lot of ebbs and flows in this song. Quite emotional. Still has that satisfying, crushing guitar sound here and there that I really love with this band. And it finishes on a really nice big solo, and yeah, I like the way they finish with the solo, and it's the solos throughout this album are a highlight, and this one's no exception. So that's the one that grew on me, perhaps because it wasn't immediately one that caught my ear, but because of its slower, spacier nature, but it revealed itself a little more slowly than some of the other songs, but ended up being one of my favorites.
Narc and Lungfish, I had in my notes, I have as my like runner-up growers.
Yeah, Lungfish too. I think I had grower with a question mark next to
Yep.
Lungfish. That's lovely.
What I love about Lungfish is the whole song seems to be held together by this sort of empty drum echo,
Yeah,
right? There's the drums and the bass are kind of doing this one thing, and then the guitars are sort of weaving in and out of distorted and clean.
yeah.
Again, it's another the doubling the vocals. I'm curious. I don't know if it's one person and their vocals are doubled, or if it's both guys singing together. I
I
can't
think it's
tell.
both. I suspect because they are
Okay.
both handy vocalists, and now there's a third
Yeah.
vocalist listed. So I think it's genuinely two singers, two voices. But yeah, Lungfish was great. I mean, any of these. I mean, I could have picked. I really like Wasting Time. I really like Death On. There's a
Yeah.
couple that weren't quite
The
on the
what
same level.
the one that was driving me crazy, I think, was Ethereal, because it reminds
Oh,
me like
ethanol.
ethanol. Sorry.
Etherol. So, no, what is it? Etherol. All right, we got. If we combine
Ethereal.
your word and
Ethereal.
my word,
All
we
right.
got the right
Ethereal.
answer.
Um, it reminds me of something, like, and I cannot place what it is. Like listening to that song triggered some sort of memory. It took me back. Like
Right.
it reminds me of something, and I cannot place it. I've been listening to
Okay.
that song over and over. I'm like, what does this remind me of? And I
Yeah.
never came up with it. And I don't know if it's like a Soundgarden deep cut, but it's taking me back
Yeah.
somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I can see Soundgarden now that I hadn't, that band hadn't occurred to me. All those sort of heavy but trippy kind of, like they've got that heavy trippiness of Soundgarden. So, have you got anything slightly less than positive to say about any of the tracks? Is there anything that might lean filler?
No,
No.
no,
Okay. Good.
uh-uh.
I mean, the one that I kind of skipped over, not just didn't grab me, was the second last song, which is always the
Was it
danger
Crack
zone.
Ant?
Crack Aunt, yes.
Yeah, I think that's the one that, um, same. But again, I really like how it ends. Like the guitar just kicks into this awesome overdrive to like end the song, right? But you're
Yeah.
right. If there was one that I was gonna bypass, it was probably after hearing Narc, I was just jumping straight to Blue City.
Yeah, I guess that's what it was. I just wanted really maybe coming before Blue City didn't help it. Also, just some weird lyrics about being stuck in a room and being really scared and scratching the walls, and it felt there's a lot of paranoia and fear in that song, which I guess I just wasn't in the mood for it or something. I don't know, but I like the more uplifting nature of some of their other songs rather than that straight out fear and paranoia of that song. So maybe that's why I skipped it. So it wasn't. It was probably the most skippable to me, but
Right.
that's probably even being a bit harsh on it. All right, that's our 4 categories. Overall thoughts. Do you want to go first with those?
Yeah. Are we doing? Do you want to do notable lyrics
Oh no. Well,
or do the thoughts
yeah.
first?
Okay. Well, no. Let's do standout moments, standout lyrics, all those things. What
Okay.
were they thinking? You go first, because as always, I haven't actually written down anything here, and you're going to struggle with notable lyrics because you don't even know
Well,
the lyrics.
no. The thing is that my note. I'm going to cheat on the notable lyrics and the standout, and I think it was just sort of. There's several moments I was trying to think. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to put into the standout moment, honestly, because there are several moments, and I think I just referred to it again with Crack Ant, where the song does kind of start in one direction, and then they'll just like kick it up, right, with something, whether it's just
Mm.
kicking the guitar into overdrive or just fiddling with the volume switch. But the ends of the songs will be really kind of powerful in a way that you'll feel the song build to. But at the end of the day, I think the thing that keeps jumping out at me, and maybe the reason that it was my killer track, is just that tempo change with the chorus of Fire Waltz. And I
Okay.
guess so, and that's where I'm going to cheat and put that as my notable lyrics as well. And just the way that kind of that when he does that Our Fire Waltz, right, the spacing of that and the way that I feel like it just kind of shifts the tempo of the song.
Hmm.
Um, that's it.
Okay. Well, my standout
My two
moment's
for
just
one.
when that big heavy guitar comes in Blue City, which I've already mentioned. Lyrically, I don't know. I mean, even having the lyrics, nothing really jumps out at me, and they tend to be very ambiguous lyrics. I think they've developed lyrically from their first, certainly from their first album. I mean, as you would expect. But there's a lot in here that I don't really know if they're singing about something in particular or just sort of generally a feeling of. It's hard to know.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I mean, just looking through the lyrics now. No, nothing in particular jumps out as a notable lyric. There are things that I found myself singing, not because they were notable lyrics though, but just because they'd sort of earworms that had stuck with me throughout the day. So that the chorus of Narc, how long of war, how high is enough, was memorable, but I mean not because they were great lyrics, but just because of the where it came in the song. So I guess that will be my nomination. I don't think lyrics are the strong point of the band, put it that way. And what were they thinking? I don't know. Mate, I don't really have a what were they thinking. Maybe what were they thinking changing labels because, but we'll never know, I guess. But what were they thinking? I'd like to know the reason for that. But anyway, we'll leave that question to hang for the listeners.
Yeah, I
You have
don't
any?
know
What were
how.
they thinking?
I don't even really have a good sense of how that works. Like, I
Mm,
think a lot of labels will pick up a band for a certain number of albums and then you deliver, and then you're kind of just
yeah,
free to shop around after that.
yeah. I guess the main thing a label used to do was like produce a bunch of records and CDs, but no one, I guess less and less people are buying them. So you don't really even have to do that many now. So what
Yeah.
is it? I guess they want more, I guess it's promotion maybe that is the main role of the label now.
All right. Well, so then that brings us to my overall thoughts of the album.
Yes.
I really liked it.
Yeah, me too.
Like it was a great album. When it was the it was a great album to be listening to as just kind of it was just one of those where you want to kind of just open the windows and it's turning into spring and you just kind of it was the music was just let's just do this. Let's get it loud and open up all the windows. The only thing is that it's really hard. The online presence of this band, it's not easy to find them. I
Hmm.
don't think. I feel like this band is sort of, and maybe that's the kind of part of the mystique. But I'm just like why am I not hearing more about this album?
Yeah,
I feel like this is a great album
yeah,
that I should be hearing more about, and I'm not. And I
yeah,
don't. And when I go online and look for them, it doesn't. You got to do some digging. I feel
yeah.
like to kind of to locate Abrams. I got to dig through all the Abrams tank stuff. Like what? I
Right.
don't, come
And
on.
Gracie Abrams.
Yeah, yeah. And it's yeah. I don't know. I guess I really like the album. I don't understand why it's not easier to find.
Yeah, that's certainly a thought of mine. I mean, the last three albums, really, and Morning was pretty good too. So maybe four
I
if you count that.
I do feel like Modern Ways got a huge push. I feel
Yeah,
like that one was Modern Ways. I felt like was all over the place.
it was on a lot of lists.
Yeah, maybe that was it. And
Mm.
whereas this one is not.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, it's a little. Maybe it's a name thing. Maybe it's just the fact that the name gets lost in the wash a little bit. I don't know, but yeah, just to summarize, just to sum up my thoughts on this album, rather than just musing about why they're not taking over the world. This really hits a sweet spot for me, and it was the Kurt Ballou realization that made that make sense for me. So, I mean, there are so many good songs on this album. It's really good, and to me, the thing that I love about this band and have for a few albums now is just the sound. I like bands that mix heaviness with good singing and harmonizing in the vocals. And I mean, they're not trying to just crush you. There's an emotional weight to the songs, but they're not just trying to crush you with heaviness. Having said that, when the guitar really kicks in, it does have a beautiful, heavy, crushing quality to it. I was, in a similar way to some of my favorite bands, Torch being the big one there. Like I love Torch and I've seen them live, and wear their t-shirt. I mean, they're one of my favorite bands of all time, and this is right in that wheelhouse of that with that sort of doomy quality, but it's more than that, much more than that. And some of my other favorite bands, Russian Circles, I can hear some of the sort of artistic and ambition that band has in this band. Um, Kurt Ballou did the last few High on Fire albums as well, which I don't hear so much of High on Fire in this band, but there is certainly a crushing quality in that guitar that I love. And Cave In was the other one that Ballou has been associated with that I can hear in this band too. So just good, heavy bands. So yeah, it's right in my sweet spot. This album,
But to
yeah,
your point about just sort of the structure and the stylings of the songs, you're right. They're really this band is really good about not stepping on the melody.
yeah,
And so where's the heavy, the swells, the overdrive, all the things that kick in, they carve out that space for the melody, and that really
yeah,
kind of drives the song. So
yeah,
and
yeah.
that really comes through on this album.
Yeah, so just that delicate balance between satisfyingly heavy, but enough space for melody and harmony that, it's a nice mix. It's a nice mix. Really like the
Yeah.
band. Really enjoyed the album. And I'm glad there's just still going, still putting albums out. And let's hope it goes on for many, many more albums because each one that comes out is a special treat. Long may it continue. Yeah, we should do Bam Brownlow, I suppose.
Yeah, let's do it.
Um, you'll have to dig out your spreadsheet.
Oh, I'm so ready. I got it. Everything's here. It's at the
It's
ready.
all archived.
It's all right here.
All right, good. I'd love to know
We
how you keep
we
track of
could
all
we
this.
we could have a new champion. Let's just
Oh,
see
really?
let's just see what happens.
All right. Let me
Everybody,
go first this time,
all right.
just to and as always, I never have these written down either. I'm going to start with my favorite performance on the album. So 3 votes goes to Taylor Iverson. I really like the bass throughout, and the harmonies are a highlight. So, and he, I'm sure, has a big role to play in that. Zach Amster seems to be the creative driving force in this band, and he's the main singer, and I like the vocals. So he gets my 2 votes, and I'm going to give 1 to the drummer because the drumming is excellent. And just by the sound of what you were saying, he might be in line for another vote or 2 because the drumming's great throughout, especially, as you said, the toms. So there you go.
All right.
Pop that on your spreadsheet and then give us yours.
Let's all right, here we go. So my 3 votes are going to the drummer. I love the sound on the drums on this album. I feel like the drums are what kind of just holds everything together.
Yep.
My 2 votes then are going to go again. The other thing that stuck out at me, and it's probably because I'm one of them, is the bass.
Yep.
And I guess as I'm looking back, it seems like this is the first time that I've not given all 3 votes to Iverson, and this is not to suggest that his performance was lacking. It just the drums really jumped out at me on this album. And
Yeah.
then my 1 vote will go to Zach Amster, who seems to be a lot of the creative force behind all of this.
Yeah. And the solos, I don't know. Well, they've got this other guy now, but are they Zach Amster's solos? I'm not sure. But either way, I mean, the solos are great throughout the album as well. So a really good all-round performance, and hard to pick a winner for the band. Brownlow. Does that? Who's leading now then for the band?
All right. Here we go.
Amster or Iverson? I'm guessing.
So that puts Iverson still in the lead.
Okay.
I didn't know if we were going to get and then I will say this, puts Ryan DeWitt now above Michael Amster.
Okay.
We gave him a lot of love. Michael Amster, the drummer of the first album.
Yeah, I remember that. He was good.
He was good. But now Ryan DeWitt has surpassed him.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Cool. All right. Well, who knows when the next album will come out, but we've got other fish to fry while we wait for that. We're up to date with Abrams now, but we're not up to date with Paul Bearer yet. They released an album last year as well, so we've got to catch up with that one next before we get back to what we were doing, which was all them witches. So, listeners, if you want to play along at home and listen to the next album, that will be Paul Bearer's most recent album, something to do with a flame or the burning flame or something. Do you remember what it's called?
No, I don't actually.
Burning, I don't know.
Wait, can we
Look
pause
it
this? Hold on. Wait.
All right. Mind Burns Alive, is that it? Heart Burns.
Damn it.
Heartburn.
Paul Bearer is another one that needs a better online presence. Here we go. Mind Burns Alive.
It was okay. Good. Yeah.
Yep,
So that's
yep,
the one.
yep.
The 6-track, 60-minute
Yeah.
album. So yeah, cool. We've got some Paul Bearer. I'll be listening to that on my flight to Australia. 30 hours. So that should keep me busy. Yeah. Emails. Guess who emailed us?
Oh, we got another one from Mayor Matt, didn't we?
Yep, we did. We did.
You sent that to me.
I did. A couple of things. And we always appreciate Matt's emails. So we didn't know the name of his new company. It's called Premier Gas Fireplace Service. and we'll pop a link to. It's in the Central Virginia area. He specifically works on gas fireplaces at the moment, so probably not the time of year you need a gas fireplace, but time to start thinking ahead. And I don't know, by the time I edit this, maybe it'll be getting cold again. So yeah, give Matt a call at Premier Gas Fireplace Service and get your gas fireplace installed. He said he's enjoying the podcast. He's been listening to All Them Witches as we go through it. And he also likes Paul Bearer, so he'll be looking forward to the next album. And as he did with his previous email, he's got some questions for us. And he also managed to guess some of my favorite albums and bands last time. So let's see how he goes reading my mind this time. So firstly, you mentioned, Scott, I think on the previous podcast, that you were looking for a good rock and roll band. Matt hasn't found a new one either, but there are plenty of classic rock bands. So he said, who is your go-to rock band from the past?
He
And he nominated ZZ Top as his.
Yeah, and I actually went on a sort of ZZ Top deep dive after we saw this email.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, ZZ Top has some pretty amazing deep cuts.
Yeah.
If you look at kind of their albums from the 70s, like
is Tres Hombres a deep cut?
Tres Hombres is like that album. Well, it has, some big heavy hitters like Jesus Just Left Chicago and Waiting for the Bus and LaGrange, but it's also got like Hot Blue and Righteous. Anyway, so ZZ Top is great as far as like a rock band.
I've heard buzz from the Melbourne site, that album in particular, Tres Hombres, is an influence of his. The sort of swinging riffs swing heavy riffs that he likes. So, yeah. I quite like their cheesy 80s stuff as well, but there you
go. But yeah, no, as far as like just like a proper rock band, I guess, I don't know. I always think of like, I was just kind of think of Guns N' Roses is just sort of that. I guess when I'm thinking like,
is that what he means though?
I don't know. No, it doesn't sound like ZZ Top and Guns N' Roses aren't in the same ballpark. And maybe I was just
Guns N' Roses hard rock.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe like just kind of a cheesy, swingy hard rock. But like, I'm with them on ZZ Top as far as just like a solid rock band. They've got the album, I think it's Deguello, which is that one's just like start to finish. Such a good album.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's been some really good Australian just rock bands over the years. I mean, AC/DC, I guess, would be in that category, but I don't know. There's some really good bands like Cold Chisel and a couple of others. Australian Crawl, I really like. Some really good Aussie rock bands from the 80s that I really like. Still, to this day, there's a bit of nostalgia in all of that, which is always a nice thing too. His next question: do you prefer Bon Scott era AC/DC or Brian Johnson era AC/DC? Matt prefers the Brian Johnson era. Bon Scott is great, but he doesn't think those Brian Johnson albums between Back in Black and Razor's Edge get enough credit. Flick of the Switch and Blow Up Your Video are fantastic albums. Fly on the Wall and For Those About to Rock are also great. So he thinks that you, Scott, are a Brian Johnson guy, and me, maybe because I'm Australian, he's going to guess Bon Scott.
How do you do?
Yeah, he's got me again. He's picked it again. I do think he's right though. There are some good Brian Johnson albums. I just don't like where they end. Lyrically, the Brian Johnson stuff just got too much for me. I love the sound of some of their later albums, but it just got too high school.
Yeah. Some of the innuendos are
It's
just, it's
just
like, all
like,
right,
oh man, just enough.
try a little harder.
Yeah, they got really bad and distractingly so, unfortunately, on some of the sort of albums through the 90s in particular. I mean, there were still some great songs here and there, Thunderstruck, obviously, and a few others, but just those albums got too much for me. So, yeah, and Bon Scott wasn't, he was guilty of it at times, but I liked it when he was just in his sort of brawler, street, tough guy, street fighting sort of lyric writing rather than his cheesy stuff. So I liked stuff like Night Prowler, and so for that I'll give the edge to Bon Scott. Plus he's an Aussie.
I think I'm Brian Johnson, but the thing is that the AC. I remember the AC/DC album that brought me in. It was the Who Made Who soundtrack.
Yeah, Who Made Who, and that's such a great song too.
I know, and that's a mix of like Brian Johnson and Bon Scott songs. But that soundtrack, I remember we used to drive to Chicago all the time when I was growing up, and I just remember sitting in the backseat with my Walkman, and I had like maybe 4 tapes, and one of them was AC/DC Who Made Who, and I would just listen to that tape on repeat for the full 3-hour drive to Chicago.
All right. Oh, so you got a bit of Bon and Brian on that one.
I got a little bit of both. But I think honestly, my go-to if I'm going to listen to AC/DC, I love the AC/DC live album from 1992.
That's my favorite too. It's brilliant.
It's so good.
Yeah, the double.
It's the
Double
yeah,
CD.
yeah. But and if you listen to that, what is it? The last 3 songs? Do I have this? It's the no. It's starting with the last 4 songs. Just that stretch from "You Shook Me All Night Long," "Highway to Hell," "TNT," and then finishing it off with "For Those About to Rock." I love that album.
It's such a good sound, that album.
Yeah.
For a live album, it's amazing. It's almost as good as they've sounded on. I mean, that's a big call given the sound of Back in Black. But I don't know. There's something about the sound of that album. It just sounds huge.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So all right, good. We see eye to eye, and Matt's got us worked out. That's for sure. So thanks, Matt. Get the emails coming, and anyone else, you're always welcome to email us. What is it? unshuffledpod@gmail.com, I think it is. So please send us an email, Matty. Keep them coming. We're basically doing this show for you, buddy. So
An audience of one.
No, it's a 3-way conversation. So yeah, keep the emails coming, Matt, and anyone else. Please send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Any other stories, Scotty? You saw Jack White?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was so good.
Yeah.
It
was in Osaka.
It was in Osaka. It was It was really good. I guess so. All the rumors were that Eddie Vedder was backstage at the show, but he never came out. But Jack White did. He jumped into the audience, which I've never seen anybody do in Japan. I've never seen while he was playing at the end of the song. Cool. And there was speculation that he was showing off for Eddie Vedder, who was backstage. And I remember hearing that rumor, and I was like, Well, 2 days later at the show in Tokyo, he brought Eddie Vedder out for the final song, and they did "Rockin' in the Free World." And I'm like,
nice,
man.
Okay, I'm sure the Japanese crowd loved it.
They were great. They were. It was the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the most raucous. I've been to some heavy shows here in Japan, but that was definitely sort of the most animated, raucous crowd I've seen at a Japanese show. Okay,
cool. That sounds fun. I haven't been to anything of note, I don't think, but I'm going to see Graveyard, and I've got my tickets for that sort of towards the end of April. So that's my upcoming gig to look forward to. So yeah, Lisbon doesn't always. We've discussed that before. They don't always get a huge amount of gigs that they do. That the band, bands that often concentrate on those Northern European countries, Germany, Belgium, up that way, and don't often venture this way. So when they do, like Graveyard are doing, you got to get down there. And still waiting to see who's Sonic Blast was a great festival last August, I think it was, early August. So that's up near Porto. So waiting for the announcements for that.
Awesome.
But yeah, apart from that, big trip to Australia coming up. So there'll be plenty of pallbearer on that trip, and I'll probably catch you. I'm guessing when I get back, rather than hauling my microphone. Although that would be a chance to maybe be in a similar time zone, so maybe I'll rethink.
Oh my God, we would.
Yeah.
We would be in the same time zone.
Yeah, that would be a first for a while. Maybe I'll take the microphone, huh? Let's try and do one while I'm in Australia.
All right.
We can have a beer together.
Yeah, just like old times.
Instead of one on coffee, one on beer, like we've been for us. Yeah.
Yeah, one of us after the kids have gone to bed and the other one before the kids have gotten up.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, my kids won't be with me at all, so who knows what's going to happen.
Oh, shoot.
All right, I'll take the mic. Cool. All right, well, there you go, listeners. You've got a couple of weeks to catch up with the latest Pallbearer album, and you've got a day to go and enjoy, Scott, and I've got a nice warm bed to climb into, so let's go and do that. Listeners, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you, listeners, for sticking with us. We do appreciate it. Our small but dedicated audience, we do appreciate your attention, and you know, the email was great, Maddie, too. So thank you for that. Until next time. Quick thank you, Small Stone. Thanks for the use of the song you hear at the start and the finish. That band is called Seven Planets, and they're an excellent band. So we'll link to that as we always do. I think there's a link to that on the website.
There's.
Our website is unshufflepod.com. You can find all our past episodes there. All right, that'll do it, Scotty. Thanks for the chat, and enjoy your Sunday.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener. And thank you, Metal Bear Guy, our listener.